The return of the Genteelmen.
What's new?
Not much.
Just
Not much. Oh, you got a shaved head.
join the baseball playoffs. I assume that's the biggest thing going on.
Yeah, baseball playoffs.
Playoffs.
Really following the Phillies this year.
Yeah, following current events and.
You know, it's funny, man. I have it's nice to not be working. Like I feel you know what I'm talking about. There's a peacefulness that comes into your life when you don't have work.
It's amazing.
But yet I don't really have free time. But yet I do have free time. But my free time is like compromised. You know what I mean?
It's not
Like
you're always on call.
Things. Yeah, I'm always on call. I can do certain things, but I can't do anything I want at any time. Or like even many things that I want.
Most of the things you wanted. Like, give me an example.
Anything I want in a 3-foot radius in a certain room at a certain time. That can be done with one hand.
It's like a Mr. Beast challenge.
Yeah.
That's your life now.
That is my life. My life is a Mr.
Can Beast. He survive 18 years of doing not exactly what he wants to be doing? Let's spice it up today and make it so that the baby has a blowout.
Oh, dude, those are not fun. Those blowouts. I was feeding her the other day, and all of a sudden there was just shit all over her stomach and back, and like I don't even know how it. Like I was holding her, so her head was here, you know what I mean, and her little legs were dangling, and so like how the poop got up on her chest, stomach, and back.
That's good design by the diaper company. There is what. It is.
Yeah, but she hasn't had a ton of those yet. She's been, I mean, dude, it's a weird thing to go through, but it's a routine. It's just like anything else that you like. I'm glad that I'm busy, right? Because 10 weeks off of work, you could imagine could lead to some boredom, right? Or some like, okay, I've done this, I've done that. I can't really leave the house for long periods of time. We can all leave together for like an hour or two at a time. Mm-hmm. But it's a routine. You wash the bottles, you sanitize the bottles, you change her, you burp her, you put her down, you feed her. The trick is so she eats about every 2 hours, 3 hours if we're lucky. So you feed her, you burp her, which can take some time, you change her, and then getting her to calm down and sleep. There are times when I get her down for 10 minutes and then she's feeding again. You know what I mean? So like it's a puzzle trying to get the right motion, the right order of operation. So now like I'll feed her half the bottle, change her. Like I'll give her half the bottle so she's not screaming for food. Change her so she's dry. Finish the rest of the bottle and start like relaxing her and then try to get her down so that there's like time for us to nap or us to do anything other than that. You know,
go to the bar.
Yeah, go to the bar. Do all the fun stuff that we like to do. We've been pretty good about getting her out. Like we do a daily walk, and today we went for breakfast. We're doing a lot of that. Like go out to lunch, and because we're in walking distance with a lot of stuff, which is nice. Yeah. But you know, she's like a little ticking time bomb. When she's done, like you're done, and you got to get the hell out of there.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's an adventure.
She got a good set of lungs on her. She wake up the neighbors.
I think she's like not fussy and not chill. She's just kind of right down the middle.
Yeah.
So she'll that's another thing. Like getting ahead of the screaming is a so like last night I had first shift, right? Allison went to sleep around 8:30, 9 o'clock. And new mom, anytime she hears a little cry, Allison's like, what was that? So I stay up so that she can sleep. Yeah. And it's like an alarm clock with snoozes, right? She'll fidget a little and I'm like, okay, is that it? Are we hungry? Are we ready to eat? Okay, now she's back asleep. 15 minutes later, is that it? No. So you got to kind of like learn how long you can push it. So she went till about 1 a.m. before her feeding, and I was just sitting there. I think I was watching something on my iPad right next to her, and she's in the bassinet next to the bed. And I think I've gotten good enough now where I was like, okay, that's the hunger cry. So then I scoop her up. I have the bottle right next to me. The bottle goes in her mouth. I go through the thing, half bottle, change, burp, come back, and then seamlessly back into the bassinet. Last night was the first time I pulled it off, and I don't think I've ever had like a larger sense of accomplishment. Like I was like, "Fuck yeah, yes, yes,
and
you
then
sleep,
and then
baby."
so she's good from that takes from like what 1 to 1:30, and then
Yeah, yeah. If that time it did, usually it would be like 1 to 2, and then she'll sleep until maybe 4:30, 5 if we're lucky. So
damn.
like we take turns taking the first shift, and then whoever basically it's like you're on call. But
Yep. And
Allison
when
has
you
a pump, so she's
when
waking up no matter
yeah,
what. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely got the tough job.
And
But
now
man, that's
Sloane's starting to breastfeed, so like I might be off the hook.
yeah.
Eh,
There you go.
But I have a feeling that like I'm just gonna have different things to do because
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
whatever. There's still bottles that need to be washed. There's still,
yeah.
there's like I'm on my feet all day. It's a weird thing. Like I'm physically exhausted
Well,
more
the
than I
lack of
thought I would
sleep
be.
is huge, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's big time.
Yeah. We're coming out of that now. We're coming out of the time like last night I think I got 7 hours of sleep.
Mm.
We're coming out of the like 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night. But yeah, that dude, this first 2.5 weeks were just it's not as bad as everyone makes it out to be. It's just a challenge. It's a different type of challenge. Your body's not used to it. You gotta condition yourself to like because you can't like fall asleep with her on you because then you could drop her or something like that. So you have to like stay awake while while it's dark and she's this nice warm little sweet thing on top of you and you're drop. It's like ugh. Got to find ways to stay awake. She's fun though. I mean, overall, it's fun. It's just like it's just a lot. It's a lot of stuff you got to do.
Yeah, and
You'll
it went
you'll
from
see maybe.
zero to 100.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Everyone was saying like, "Oh, it's this thing, and like everything's different." And I'm a curious person, so like I solicit that feedback. I want to hear. I think it's interesting the way. I think in general, babies bring out the best in us. Like it brings out the best in people. Like their best shows, their most loving, caring self shows. But I heard from so many people like, "Oh, it's this transformative thing." So like the day after we had her, I was like,
Right.
"Am I still me? Is this?"
Did I
And
like
yeah, like I'm still me.
lose or put on 20 pounds or something? Or like did can I speak
Like, is
another
this
language now?
yeah, yeah, like, what?
What happened?
Did it happen? Did the transformation happen? How do I know? How will I know? But no,
I
you're just
fucking
the
hope
same
that's
person.
not true, man. I mean, look, at some
Yeah,
point, maybe it is for people that have boring lives. I think that's
I
maybe it,
think
and
that's
just like
exactly it.
low personalities and
That's exactly it. The people who haven't welcomed other big challenges into their life or big changes into their life before, like I've voluntary or otherwise, I've gone through a lot of change and difficult things. So like this is
mm,
it's a joy. Like it's a
yeah,
great thing. It's a happy thing. It's just challenging for different. It's challenging in different ways that people that adults typically don't experience. Like
right.
you wait sleeping every 3 hours and then waking up and not taking care of something. But it's nice. There's like a she's completely dependent on us, and there's like like completing chores. There's like a magic or there's something fulfilling about doing chores or taking care or like being in service of something else other than you. And I think that's the thing. Like you're taking care of something else. You're not the main event anymore.
Yeah,
Which is kind
that's
of
cool.
kind of nice. Yeah.
It's good to hear you talk this way about it, because it's so, the whole, oh, it changed your life.
Yeah.
It's such a like, I don't know, man.
It doesn't. Like
You obviously know I don't, but it's just like, come on, I just stop telling me it's like it's the only thing worth living for.
it's
I
not.
don't, as someone who without a child, I don't believe that.
It's not.
But I'm
Not in a
sure
million years.
it is a huge deal, and it's good to hear you talk about it as someone who it seems has it in the correct context.
For people who don't see the world the way you and I do, I could totally see how
Did I
their
lose
minds would
you?
be blown up. I don't know.
No, you're good. You froze for a second, but you're good now.
Like for people who don't see the world like us, I could see how their minds would be blown. Like if you haven't had a lot of like things that have touched your heart or things that have touched your imagination, this could have your mind blown. But if you have, like, it's just another adventure. It's a different kind of adventure. I will say the one thing that was pretty crazy was I ignored the advice I was given and I watched that baby come out.
Yeah.
That was nuts. That was nuts. That was nuts. Like
You
I
regret
wasn't
that?
going to. No, I don't actually. I mean, I also think that's like such an
What can you
immature.
do?
'Cause some guys are like, don't look, man. You're never gonna have sex with her again. You look down there. That's not true. Like I was kind of trying not to look, and then I peeked down and I saw like just the little circle of her hairy head poking
Yeah.
out, and I was like, "Oh my fucking god, Allison, she is right there. Like, go, go!" And then like I was jumping up and down and like a cheerleader. I was like, "Come on, push, push, push it out!" And then it came out, and it was like, "Oh, that was cool." But the whole
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just because like I don't know. I knew the baby was in there, but then you see
Mhm.
it come out and it's like, "Oh, wow. It really was in there. That thing's really it's really, here it is."
That happened.
That happened. That thing crawled right out of there. Dude, it was fucking crazy. So they
Yeah.
tried different positions. The one that got her out, there was a bar over the bed, right? A bar.
Okay.
And Allison grabbed onto it with her hands to pull her body up and put her feet up, like sort of, it was nuts. It was nuts. It was nuts. And like hats off to Allison, man. I didn't know that she had that gear, you know. Going into
Yeah.
it, I was a little worried. I thought like, I mean, you might be headed for a C-section because like I haven't seen her do like hard physical things before. Like sometimes we'll exercise together and then like I like to push myself. I know you do too, but she just wants to get like some exercise. She doesn't want to like get it. But she went to go get it that day and she like yeah, and then she like lost a ton of blood and it was scary for a minute. I mean, there were like 20 doctors in there at all and they gave me the baby.
Oh, no, like, you deal with this. No
What
shit.
hey, hi. I didn't know what to do. So I counted her fingers and toes. That was the first thing I did. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but I counted them. I was like, okay, 10 and 10. That's a good start. But she was okay. She just needed some blood transfusion, and she was all right. She was hemorrhaging.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, that wasn't fun.
That's scary.
But then, like from that minute on, she was fine. Like as soon as they got her back on her feet, like a day or so, she was fine, and she's been fine ever since, which is great. Another thing I was worried about was like, you hear about postpartum depression, and that shit sounds brutal. But
Yeah.
yeah, my boss
Just
was telling me
anything that would lead you to like have to bear the entire load would just
exactly.
be
So
yeah.
she actually said she was on the bed, she was white as a sheet, and she was like, "Call my sister and tell her to come, like now." So I stepped
This
out
is
of the room and I
this is
called her
afterwards
sister.
or
This is what like during the hemorrhage, during the
oh
worst of it.
yeah.
I called her sister and I was like, "Look, I don't think this is real, but I'm doing this because Allison asked me to. Um, she wants you to come out." And then I brought the phone in. Allison talked to her sister and she was fine. Her sister was like, "You're in the worst of it. It feels like the darkest right now, but you're okay. You just need some rest." And that's exactly what it was. They're actually coming today. Her sister and her two nieces are coming today, and they're 13. Sid. Sydney. Sid in the city.
Yeah. Like a little help around the house.
Yeah, a little help.
Hey, these are no more pleasure vacations. These are
Dude,
working
no,
vacations.
dude, everyone who says they're coming to help, we've had Allison's parents come. Shira's obviously visited, and Aviel stayed for a night. No one's coming to help.
Nothing.
They're coming to see the
Nah.
baby, right?
Yeah, right.
Like no matter what way you
They get
shake it, yeah. And like, there's people in your house. What are you gonna do? Like, just be like fend for yourselves?
they're taking care of
Yeah,
another half a baby.
that's right. That's right. Especially with her folks. But yeah, all in all, good experience.
That's
I'd do it
awesome,
again.
man. Congrats again.
Five
I'm sorry.
stars.
I'm really happy for you guys, and
Thanks, buddy.
of course, obviously, that's such a big deal, and it'll be fun to hear your obviously I enjoy your perspective on things about as much as anybody. So
Yeah, yeah,
hearing you talk about it will be fun for
yeah,
me and our
Ooh,
viewing audience, of course.
yeah. That's right. It'll be interesting. I I really think people make it out to be a lot more than it is. It's just like loving something, right? Like a pet or a plant or anything. Like you love something, you take care of it, and you hope it grows and
Sloan's
develops.
gonna watch this in 15 years. She's like,
So,
he liked me as much as a plant. My dad said that about me.
yeah, I mean, she's my favorite plant so far. But yeah, I mean, like she's just a little potato. Like she can't interact. Like I forget who said it in something along the way or a book I read or something. They basically said that babies are born too early, right? So apparently, when human beings evolved, when we started walking upright so that we could scan the Serengeti or whatever it was, the birth canal narrowed. And so we started having babies at 9 months. Like a horse is born and it's a horse, it's running that day. But a baby completely dependent. So it basically said that it needs another trimester outside of the womb, which is why you swaddle it and why it's like you can't really do anything, right? It's not meant to be in the world yet. So it's just maintenance. You're just maintaining this
Yeah.
thing. But
Yeah.
she's starting to like, they say it's gas when she smiles, but I'm like, fuck that. She's smiling. She's having a good time.
Yeah. Who doesn't smile when they have gas?
That's right.
Pass some gas. Yeah, it
Yeah.
makes everyone feel good.
Yeah. So tell me
Awesome.
about the job situation.
You were looking at an unemployed man
How's it
for
feel?
another 36 hours. Feels great, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking forward to the new gig, but man, if they call back and they're like, we'll just pay you to not come in, I'd be like, perfect.
Yeah.
That works
Got
too.
got a little taste of the good life.
Dude.
Not
And
not
not
so
that I've
eager
been
to go
putting in
back.
I'm kind of not, but I am at the same time. Like, that's not realistic to not go back, but I am looking forward to going to a place that wants me to be there.
Well, yeah,
Opening that
that's a
Home Alone.
that's a good prerequisite. They want you there. So so you start on Monday?
Yeah. Starting on Monday.
Did you have a choice
So
of a week or longer
they gave
in
me
between?
no, but I gave. Let's back up. So for the last 6 months at work, I've been doing very little, like super checked out. And even when I thought I couldn't get more checked out, I got more checked out. So I've been kind of taking a break anyway. And then I gave them 2 weeks. Of course, one of the guys that the boss is, hey, just let me know whenever you're gonna take off, and I'll make sure. We owe it to you. We should pay you on the way out, and we'll maybe we can do something with layoff as opposed to you resigning, and then that way you get your severance, you get your stock. Okay, he's like, just let me know. I will, thank you. And this is after I didn't get a raise, so he was trying to save the day.
You had already put your 2 weeks in?
This is back in March.
Oh, okay. I remember you telling me about this.
Yeah. So anyway, I had accepted the job and I was kind of like waiting for them to finish the background check just so I could get a start date and then kind of figure out, or at least figure out what my options are for start dates. Companies don't let you start whatever day you want. They do like onboarding twice a month. And so I got the data Monday, and I went into work and I sat down with this guy. I called him in my office. I was like, "Hey, just to let you know, I accepted a
Called him into your
role."
office.
Yeah.
I like that.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm so happy for you, man. I really, just, yeah, it didn't work out here, and I wish you the best." And and he spent like an odd amount of time like talking about the commute. He's like, "So you're driving from where, and you got to go to where? So you probably want to go the back." I'm like, "Just what are you fucking talking, dude? This is weird. Just stop. You're in this office because you told me that you were gonna pay me out." He's like, "Oh, well, I don't know what kind of influence I have on that. And it's a different bank and this and the
Oh
other."
my
And I'm like, "First of all,
God.
it's not a different bank. And you fucking told me." And then he's like, I don't know, Hemin and Han. I'm like, enough, dude.
Yeah.
He's like, "Let me call HR." And then he calls HR, and the next day he calls me and he said, "I just want to close the loop. We talked to HR, and there's nothing that we can or want to do in your situation." It's like, "See ya. Goodbye." And then he's
There
like,
was
"If this is your
ever
last hour, if you want to resign right now, it's fine." I'm like, "Fuck you. I'm not resigning right now. You're going to pay me to do no work until I decide that or
yeah,
otherwise you
nice
can't. Go ahead
try.
and fire me. Go ahead and fucking
Yeah,
fire
right.
me."
Right. You could have gone about it that way, and now I don't know, maybe you should have, because like
Just
what
where I
what was
didn't
your
say anything.
confidence? I mean, the guy told you he was going to do something. That sucks, man.
Yeah, I
That's
mean, what are you going to do? I at least wanted to
I'm so
make him
happy you're gone from
squirm
this
in
company.
my office. I know.
Like, I'm
Fucking
so
anyway.
happy that you're not you deserve so much better.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's
And so does Capital Bank. There it is. This is a big announcement. Anyway,
Capital Bank, that's where you're going?
that's where I'm going.
Okay. Tell me about the role.
So it's a sales role, and Sarah's now kind of in a sales role too. And so we thought,
Yeah.
just a quick aside, we need to have one of these episodes be a lecture from Josh and Shira or maybe not Shira, maybe just you
I can't
on the
wait.
art of the sale.
I will put on a blazer and I'll do a lot of this. I'll do a lot of hand steepling. Like,
Yeah, right.
I'm so glad we're all here to talk about sales. Now, what is sales? What is it? It's the
Don't give it away.
selling of one thing to someone else.
That process, the movement of goods or services from one party to the other, is called a sale. It's a contract. Anyway,
So, what are you going to be selling?
so a specific type of loan.
Okay.
The role kind of evolved. It's a small bank, which I love. Man, I was thinking, everyone wants to work for fucking JP Morgan or Capital One, Bank of America, like all these big banks that have all the money in the world. It's like, dude, the fucking bureaucracy. I just dealt with it as
Man,
small fucking shit bank.
I
I
sold
can't
to those
imagine
banks
what
for
it's
a
like.
long time.
Yeah.
I did not like anyone that I met.
Yeah.
And I did not think like these are the people I want to work with.
Right. So this bank is growing, which is an amazing thing. It's the first bank I've worked for that's growing in 8 or 9 years.
That's awesome.
And they want me to take over the business development they want me to do a bunch of, so the idea is that it's a small bank. And so people are doing different things. It's not just like you have one responsibility, but my title is going to be relationship manager in the lender finance group. And so I have a goal. I have a sales goal.
Is your comp tied
Like a
to that goal?
quota. Yeah, it is.
So like
Actually, let me pull that
50-50,
up.
60-40, 70-30. Meaning
No,
70% salary, 30% commission.
well, I guess it depends on how much you sell, right? Is that, I don't know
Okay.
how to answer that question.
It's all right. Well, this will be all covered in the seminar
But
for
I just want
for
to pull it
eleven
up
hundred
because it is
dollars.
interesting. Let me find the
Where where's
I'm not
Capital
gonna
Bank
share
based?
it. Rockville, Maryland.
Oh, nice. So their headquarters is where you're is. Are you going to be going into the office?
Yeah, 4 days a week. It's a lot. That's the other thing we got to talk about. This
It's good. It's a good thing.
Wednesday. Wednesday. Wednesday is the day at home, so we could still do Wednesday. And this is, of course,
Yeah.
after all this child nonsense gets settled.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can still do Wednesdays. I mean, I think for you though, it's good starting a new job remote is not ideal in my opinion.
I wouldn't. I
So,
don't want to. I want to go to an
yeah,
office where people. I like being around the people, and people like being there.
that's right.
Period. That's it.
That's right.
I haven't had that. I'm
Yeah.
cool with that.
It's a good thing. It's a very good thing.
So I'm looking at my okay, and so the way it works, I'm curious to get your thoughts on this. So
Yeah.
if I meet my goal,
Okay.
the
On target earnings. Is that what they call it?
on target earnings, I get a category like it all factors down to a rating between
Okay.
1 and 6, or I guess 0 and 6.
And then that
And
rating will have a
let's see.
corresponding payout.
That rating is multiplied by the let's see here. It's multiplied by the percentage.
Yeah, your base commission rate.
Yeah. And then you get that.
It
Does
sounds
that make
right.
sense?
Yeah, it does.
But
It
if you
does.
sell
So
more, the multiplier goes up, of
that's
course, and
right.
then you get
Yep.
more.
Yep. Yeah. So
Um,
like I'll get paid a 5.16% on everything up to my quota. Above that, I get 7.75%. And
of
to your
what?
one
7.75 of what?
of well, in my case,
The salary?
the contract value.
Got
So
it.
the annual
I see.
recurring revenue. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is a little bit different. It's like annual balance of production. And so I don't know, man. I'm actually not even worried about it.
Yeah.
Here's a good reason why. I got a raise. My salary went up.
That's
And
phenomenal.
so yeah, I like if I get nothing, which I won't not get anything, I'm still good. So I'm not worried about the sales goals. I'm just gonna be myself, man. I that's the other thing.
Well,
I
if your
kind of
salary is more than what you were getting, plus you have the opportunity to earn more, that's fantastic, right?
yeah, I think the max is like 200% of your salary, and then which if that which won't happen,
Yeah.
but even if
But if it
my
does, you're gonna be
salary,
perfectly happy with it. Yeah.
I know, yeah, I will be totally fine with that.
Yeah.
But
I'm
yeah,
excited that
it's
you're
a
gonna be
good
selling, man.
so yeah, I've never tried it. I always thought I'd be bad at it,
I
and
disagree.
I don't believe that anymore. I kind of have gotten to the point where I'm now thinking like, what haven't I been able to do?
That's
And
right.
I can't think of something. So I don't know why I
It's
wouldn't be able to do this.
it's the same thing as, I'll use the pilot analogy because that's something you wanted to do. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Operating a complex machine and running a complex sales cycle, if you can figure one out, you can figure the other out. There are inputs and outputs. People are predictable enough, right? It's not like, oh, razzle dazzle. Oh, look at this sale. Oh, I'm going to convince you. Like people have a need, you fulfill the need. And, you'll develop a sense of getting good at when, the growing pains will probably just be like, you'll get burned a couple of times when people say they're going to do something and they won't. And then you'll start figuring out the signals and you'll get good at that. Like that might take some repetition, but the rest of it can be taught and learned. And it's been my experience that the most organized and efficient people are the best sellers. Maybe you put in some like resilience and hunger in there, right? Because you got to
Yeah.
hustle. So, like, are your leads going to be, will you have to go out and find business? Does it come in?
Yeah,
A mix
it's
of both?
so it's good. The good news is I'm not they're not just saying, okay, you're getting no help
Yeah.
and this is your go ahead. Here's the phone book kind of thing. That it's
Yeah.
not that. As a matter of fact, my boss, um, after the offer, I called him and he said, "Oh yeah, I actually just got off an airplane. I went to go meet with a prospect of yours." I was
Oh,
like, "Oh,
nice.
okay, cool."
I like
So
that.
I think everyone wants to like help, right? It's not like this is going to be it's just it seems like such a different environment. I could be totally wrong
No, you're
misreading it, but I
not.
have nothing
So
to suggest that this is not a really collaborative and helpful environment.
one of the things that I love about being a rep that I hated about being a manager, or I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say I hated it. That took some adjustment was in sales, if you're, let's say that you're my manager and I'm your rep, right? And we have a big presentation tomorrow and it's the night before and I show you the deck and I run you through it and it's like not that good. The business believes it is now your responsibility as my manager to make that good and deliver the pitch if necessary, right? They call it servant leadership. So, as a frontline leader managing a salesperson, your only job is to get them over their quota. That's it. Get them to sell deals. That's all the reps care about is deals. Just get them to sell deals. Even if that means you have to do it for them, which is great as a rep. It's a little frustrating as a manager because you want to hold people accountable and you know they won't ultimately
Right.
be held accountable. You will be, but it's nice. It is collaborative, right? Any sales manager worth their salt is going to put a ton of energy into ramping you up and make sure that you understand everything you need to understand.
Yeah, no problem. I get that. The thing about this is it's not like he's a sales manager. He's the president of the bank.
Oh,
This
really?
is that small of an organization where it's you know
Oh, so he has even more
he
skin in the game.
he's doing way more than just managing the pipeline, managing
That's
the
great.
people that are feeding the pipeline.
So you're
So
reporting
it's
directly to the president? That's awesome.
yeah, fuck it. And like again, talk about a night and day situation from my last bank. I worked. The bank was not that big, and I had 4 or 5 managers between me and the CEO. It's like, get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah. That's
Get
an
out of my fucking
unnecessary
face.
levels of leadership for
Anyway,
I'm trying to sell to Truist Bank right now. They merged with BB&T, and when they merged, they
SunTrust,
didn't SunTrust, sorry. They SunTrust and BB&T merged to form Truist, right?
right,
Yeah.
right,
And when they did, they didn't eliminate any redundancies. So now they have to
perfect.
reduce $750 million in operational expenses in the next 12 to 18 months. There's like
I'm
6
sure.
people who have the
About it.
same title.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Wall Street finally caught wind of that, and the CEO was like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Now this is very much a now thing, not a later thing. We're gonna get
I
this
was
done
just
now."
there right before this. I was just at the bank. I had to go to the bank and deposit my final paycheck.
Is that your bank?
Um, Truist. Yeah, I opened an account when I was at SunTrust when I worked there, and
Ah,
I never switched it. So
makes sense.
we're getting ready to tear this house apart. She's like, "Well, what are you gonna do with this money?" I'm like, "Well, it's gonna go to the house." She's like, "You should do a home equity." I'm like, "Listen, I I used to work here. If we decide to come with this bank, I don't want to waste anyone's time. I don't have time now to do this. If we decide to use Truist, I will come into this branch and I will talk to you specifically to get this done. I know how it works." She's like, "Okay, thanks."
Yeah.
Like it's all good. Don't worry about
So you're taking your last paycheck and using that to do the house repairs is what you're saying?
it. Yeah, I wish. I wish that
Yeah.
was all that we needed, but no. Yeah, no,
But you're
it's
not doing a home equity loan?
no, I think we're gonna have to. Dude, I
Yeah.
can't we can't the problem here with a house reservation is you get a budget and you understand that there is a some amount of money that will cost. Inevitably, it's never going to be lower than that. That's the absolute minimum,
Yeah.
and it's almost always going to be higher than that. So even
That's
if we
like
have to
if you
open
don't want them to do it with their heart in it or do a very good job.
and make absolutely no changes to anything, right? And they open the walls and there's all kinds of problems that you don't want them to fix. I don't know.
Nah, just
So
leave that in there.
I'm trying to set it up so that we have all the dry powder. I hate that fucking term. That's such a that reminds me of like old work time. Dry powder. You got to give
What does
people
it
dry
mean?
powder. You got to give them. You got to give them. You have to give them access to money if the case they need it.
Dry
In case
powder
they
is
need
money.
it, right? Dry powder.
I've heard it before. I just don't know what it means.
So in this case, it would be get a line of credit set up, and even if you don't use it, you have it for an emergency expense that may occur. Something that needs to be repaired that you didn't budget for, and instead of using cash, because the problem is once you do any work to the house, you can't get. It's much harder to get one of those kinds of things set up. So like just put it in place now, and then you can deal with it later, kind of
Gotcha.
thing. And debt's
Because the
way
value of
cheaper
the
than
house is
even
lower?
now
Why was it harder once you get started?
because it's an active construction site. If everyone, so it's all based on the appraised value of the house,
Got
right?
it.
And
Makes
so
sense.
the value of the house without a roof on it is
A little lower.
definitely lower than when it is when there is a roof on it.
Even though they know you're putting a roof on it?
What if the contractors decide for one of I don't know, I can think of a dozen reasons to not show up to do the
Yeah.
work. I mean, I don't know.
And you're just
That's
going to sell that roofless house? Good
yeah, you'd be
location.
like, yeah,
No roof.
location, no roof, no roof, but great school district.
Large skylight in the living room, kitchen, bedroom, and bathroom.
It's cute. It's got a lot of that roof gives it a lot of lack of a roof gives it a lot of character.
Very high ceilings.
So yeah, I don't know where we're going with that. Truist,
Yeah.
SunTrust.
We were talking about the unnecessary levels of management.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, dude, SunTrust was just as bad. It was probably worse there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can imagine they've got significant amounts of people to cut to get to
I
that
just think it's funny that
$750 million.
they just never got around to that when they merged.
We don't have a ton of them here. Do they have Did they have BB&Ts up there? Now they're Truists.
I don't know because the merger happened before I was here. Maybe.
Well, do you have Truists?
Not that I've seen.
I didn't think BB&T was a northern bank. I thought it like kind of ended in the Carolinas, Virginia sort of area.
Yeah.
And SunTrust was southeast.
Right.
So, yeah,
they're big. They're big. They're like the 10th largest bank in North America, I think, or in the top 10.
Combined, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a good bank.
Anyway, the bank I'm going to work for is a very small bank. Like I keep saying that.
How small?
Relative.
How many employees?
I actually don't know. I think it's about 3 billion in assets total, which is.
Oh man, I don't really know what that means. I mean, what does Vanguard and Fidelity have like 3 trillion? Right?
Yeah. Vanguard and Fidelity aren't banks, but
yeah.
I applaud your attempt to contribute to the conversation.
I was trying to think of who had the most assets under management, and that's what popped
up. Oh, it's JP Morgan easily.
Is it?
They're in the trillions, yeah.
Okay.
Bank of America.
Well, they are a bank though, Rich.
JP Morgan.
Yeah. Chase.
They are. Chase. Them and Bank of America have over $1 trillion. And so this bank is small, but they're trying to grow and make the leap from like small community bank to regional bank, which would be like a Bank of California kind of situation. So, and the thing with banks these days is they, you can only do so much commercial real estate. Commercial real estate is not hot right now.
Yeah.
It is
I follow a guy on Twitter called Strip Mall Guy, and I've learned a lot about commercial real estate. Really bright guy. He's our age. He's in New York, and he tweets about like the business, and he's done well, but he talks all the time about how a lot of people are struggling right now. I didn't realize how much money there was to be made in that business.
Sure.
Commercial real estate. Wow. And it's like it's like a hustler business,
It is, man, but it's talk about basic bitch banking, man. Triple B. Dude. Basic bitch banking, commercial real estate guys. And I know some of them and they're fine. But dude, you ever see a banker walking down the street with fucking a Patagonia vest on?
Yeah.
they're fucking commercial real estate bankers. They're
Those
just
guys
it's so
with a Patagonia vest under their blazer.
under their maybe under their blazer, definitely over a long sleeve shirt with the sleeves still rolled down and
Rolled.
buttoned. I
It's a
see
good
these
look.
guys, and so just to finish the thought, you can only have so much exposure in commercial real estate, and I have never done it. It's just never been a part of what my responsibilities are. I'm sure it's fine, but the value for me is because I don't know that business, but I know like every other business and how to get in, how to figure out the other non-commercial real estate businesses. They wanted me to come in to help build the lending products that are not commercial real estate.
Okay.
And so that's what's interesting to me about the opportunity. Like they just bought actually yesterday they just closed on a bank that has a big solar and renewable energy practice. And so they're going to have me and a guy that I went to grad school with, like one of my friends
Oh,
who I
really?
sat next to for every year, every class. He
That's
works there
cool.
and he and I are going to
Is that how you found the job?
work on that. Yeah. Well, I found the job because the woman I fired worked there. Did I not tell you? Did I not give you
Oh, yeah,
that?
you did. You did.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now I remember. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And you went to lunch with this guy not too long ago, right?
Right after that happened, and then
Yeah,
that's
right
what
after that
started the
happened. And you
conversation,
put
and then
and you
here we
put the
are.
two and two together. Yeah. So that's good, man. You're excited.
Oh yeah, man. Thank you.
You're going to be doing something new at a bank that's growing, that needs you reporting to the president. You're going to be selling. There's like so much new and exciting. I just feel like the way you've been talking over the past 6 months, like this is what you want. You want something to sink your teeth into with other people that are like
Absolutely.
willing to go to war with you.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I'm tired of taking direction or being held back by people who do a worse job than me, and that's
That's
kind of
right.
what it's been like.
Yeah. Doesn't get
I
more
will say
frustrating than
this.
that.
Yeah, and I let that frustration festered in me in a way, and what I learned from this experience was how much I let that affect me mentally and physically.
How could you
Uh,
not, man?
yeah, I work, anyone that has a big job, and I certainly put both of us in that category. It's gonna affect you when you go home.
Yeah, totally.
You're never gonna be like, you're not a welder, right? Like it's gonna be
Yeah, you
something you
can't you
got to
can't you
deal
can't
with at
leave the
home.
project and come. Yeah, the last 3 weeks I've noticed such a change in myself. Like I'm happy every day. It's not like the amount of pressure that I'm not feeling is huge,
I know.
right? It's huge.
Yeah.
You don't
Um,
realize how much you're feel like there's so many things my body doesn't hurt. I've lost weight. Um, like I've never been more regular. Like everything is just I don't know. Kind of feels like this is how a person is like I just feel better. I physically feel better.
so I think there's the lesson here that, and I certainly, or maybe you're now realizing, it's like, look, at some point, yeah, you're gonna think about work at night when you go home, but at some point, you got to just be like, I'm done. I'm not gonna fucking let this get me down.
Yeah.
And if it's that bad, then I'm just gonna leave. I'm not gonna like sit here and if try to affect change, try to force my way. I'm not gonna fucking do that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let the decisions of these people, or inaction of these people or whatever bother me to the point where then I can't sleep at night.
Right.
Fuck that. I'm done with
Right.
that. And I will never let that happen again. So I'm glad I went through that now and I don't have to worry about, you know, or at least I can lean on this and have like these moments of clarity where I'll just snap out of it.
That's right.
That's what I'm hoping will
And
happen.
and even if this isn't the job, you now know that. You now
Yeah,
know
right.
what you can tolerate, what you're willing to tolerate, and what quality of life you want.
Yep.
We all have to learn that lesson at some point, man. And some people never learn it, and they go their whole lives being miserable because they're not willing to get out of that comfort zone a little bit. At least you have that where you're like dying to get out of your comfort zone. You love getting out of your comfort zone. So
Give me something to fucking figure out, man. I
Yeah.
will say
You know?
I've been so these last 2 weeks where I actually have been, it's been understood that I will not work. I have been f like, diving deep into the innards of Ableton Live
Really?
and figuring out ways to use my hardware to control instruments and how I can, like, perform using very little of the actual, using a mouse or
Software?
anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm still using the software, but, like,
You know what I mean?
controlling
Like,
it
without
using
having to
knobs.
click it. Yeah. Yeah, that's the dream, man, is being able to make
Dude,
music using that software without having to use a fucking keyboard and mouse.
I got there, like, 2 days ago. It took me 2 weeks, basically, to
Really?
figure it out, to, like, I had to look just yeah. It was just, like,
How many
constantly
how many
learning and,
people do
like,
you think have reached that level of mastery with Ableton
a fair
or
amount. Uh,
any software?
people there is that software is really impressive. It is unbelievably powerful,
Yeah.
and I have 2% of the knowledge that the mastery of it would take. It comes with this development interface where you can build your own effects, and they call them devices. You can program your own shit. Like, you just use uh their programming language, so to speak, to, like, build whatever you want. I've never done that, but
But
it's
what would
out
be
there.
the
I mean,
use
you
case
can
for that?
if there's something that you want to have happen for your specific idea and you can't figure out a way, or the way to do it with the program's native devices is too complicated or whatever, you can build your own to do the specific thing you want it to do.
How likely is that to happen?
Well,
Like,
it's
with all the
it's
optionality in the software, how long until you come across something where you have to create it yourself?
at this point, I mean, the community has made so much shit that it's very unlikely. Am I out of focus?
Because they need to or because they can? Like, is it an act out of necessity, or is it like I have these tools, so let me just create my own thing to say
It's
I can
always
do it?
it's either it's at least out of convenience. At
Okay.
most, it's like I need something that doesn't exist. At least it's like I do this all the time, and it takes these 3 things, and I've got to map these things and whatever. Otherwise, I can just, like, figure it out and put it in this one device to do all the things that I want, as opposed to, like, I can combine everything into, like, this one little box for me, and that's why I think a lot of people do it. But people build instruments through it as well. I've been messing around. This one guy, so I have the DFAM.
Build an
You
instrument?
you can build it's limitless. The
That's
things
crazy.
you can do with this, with Max for Live is what it's called. You should just fucking get Ableton, dude.
Yeah, I
I
would love
almost
to be on
sent
the
you a
same page with you, but I already bought Pro Tools. Oh, not Pro Tools,
you
I'm
have
sorry, Logic
Logic.
Pro. Yeah.
I heard I almost sent you a Reddit post, and it was someone who said, uh I switched from Logic to Ableton, and I can't believe I didn't do it earlier. And
Really?
almost every response was, "I agree."
Did they
It's
did what
so
were the
much better.
reasons?
So I guess and I didn't know this. So when you open Logic, you get the tracks listed vertically, right? And then you
Yep.
just build them out. And that's the only view, right?
The only view I've used, yeah.
So in Ableton, there's that view exists, and it's great whenever you're trying to, like, arrange a track. The thing I use most for it is you can go to what's called session view, where you have, like, these columns. The tracks are now list like
Vertical, yeah.
vertically like this, and you have little clips that you can trigger using a MIDI controller or whatever. And so you can, like, build a little melody in one clip, and then you can build another melody in the same instrument on the second clip and third clip. And then you can kind of, like, play the drums and play everything separately and see how it works. That's what I like about it.
What advantage
I
is that giving me?
It gives you a lot more quicker experimentation. So instead of having to lay everything out on a timeline, you don't need there is no timeline. You just trigger clips that start uh, in time with
I'll
the
tell you
master clock.
the thing that makes me. I'm looking up how much Ableton is right now. Ableton Live, right?
Sweet, sweet.
$750.
Maybe. Mine was I bought the first version of my Ableton when I was still a student at American, and then I upgraded and upgraded.
Live, push.
That's it. Push is the hardware controller.
Right. Okay. So live is what I need.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Intro, standard. Oh, sweet. Okay, 750. Wow.
So standard doesn't have max for live. That's when you get max for live, you get all of those the ability to use the community developed instruments, devices, things like that. And
And
I'll tell you what. Go ahead.
I'm gonna need that.
I mean, at some point, I guess you could always upgrade to Suite.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do intro.
Sloan says get sweet. I just heard her. Yeah, I get that.
Instead of your Air Max 97s.
Well, that's a gift card.
Oh. I tried to learn a different DAW. I used Reaper because it was so inexpensive, and
So it looks
it
like it
was
has. Oh yeah, and it wasn't
miserable.
good.
Miserable.
So it looks like the difference here is more instruments, more packs, more effects. That's it.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. I'm looking it up. There we go. So what don't you get? What are the instruments you don't get?
Here. Bass poly sampler. Wavetable.
Simpler you get in
Standard,
and it's pretty good. Simpler is really good. You get that in standard.
Is it a simple sampler? Am I reading that right?
That's pretty much, yeah. So do you
Packs
get
wise.
Roar?
Yeah,
Packs are
I'm definitely
good.
gonna want all of the packs.
Yeah, the packs. Well, they're some of them are good. Some of they're better than others. They take up some space too. I mean, there's not a lot. I mean, I'm looking to
33
see.
gigs or something like that. 71 gigs.
You have what's your processor on your computer? Is it an M1?
No, this is an iMac, so it's still Intel 6-core i5, but I've upgraded the RAM, so I have 96 gigs of RAM. She a beast, but it's not Apple Silicon, so it's not going to run that.
I mean,
haven't
here's the
thrown
thing.
anything at it yet that it can't do, but this might be it.
Well, yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be fine.
But I do have I have an M3 MacBook.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That would run it.
Yeah. And I also have an M1 MacBook from a previous.
We can trade projects back and forth if
that I would love. And I like the idea of being able to ask, like, would you do a tutorial with me on this?
Sure.
Like,
I love that shit, man. I fucking watch YouTube videos on
so much better from when I can ask questions than on a YouTube video. It's just the way my brain works. Call it laziness. Call it genius. Could be either.
Oh, you can finance it. That's a no-brainer. You can finance
for
your
12 months. Is that the same price, or are they charging me more?
I don't know.
Same price.
Yeah, it's very cool. But yeah, let's
Shall we
get you some
design?
shoes. So you got a gift card for I guess your birthday. Is that what it
For my
was?
birthday. Yeah.
Got it. How was the baseball game? Did you wore a Palomalu?
I did. Oh man, it was so nice. Shira like went all out and got tickets that were like I think they were like $500 a piece because we had waiter and waitress service.
Jesus.
Have we talked about the Costco guys on TikTok yet?
No.
We bring the
Yes. Yes, we have.
boom. They sat
Yeah,
right
yeah,
next to me
yeah,
at the game.
yeah. That's how you know
I
you
was
made
like,
it.
"What's up, guys? We bringing the boom." Guys, they're millionaires. Millionaires, Rich. It was fun though. I mean, the weather was horrible. It was delayed by took us almost 3 hours to get to the Bronx, and
Ugh.
the game was delayed because of rain, and it rained the entire time. We sat there in ponchos and got soaking wet, but it was fun.
Didn't you
Good
have
time.
access to like an indoor area?
Only to get food, but not to watch the game.
Okay.
But we were
They
like
want you out
second row
there.
back from the field. It was cool. It
Yeah.
was as close as you can get to Jeff Yorkie out in right field.
Mm, lovely. So what
First
are
of
you
all, are
thinking?
these the shoes we want to customize?
Well, that's up
We
to you,
want to
man.
do
I
Prestos.
I like those. The Prestos, man, they I had a pair of those. They're really
They
comfortable,
don't hold
but
up.
they don't.
What about the Air Max ones?
I like
Or
the ones, but they can look a little more grandpa
agreed.
than I like the I'm really liking Dunks. I wore, as a matter of fact, so
Yeah.
I got a pair of Dunks and I went shopping and walked into 3 stores, and all 3 stores, people complimented me on my shoes.
Oh yeah.
Like 3 in a row, same afternoon. I was like, this is
All right.
those look like
Let's.
those the skateboard ones?
These are
No,
the
okay.
Dunk lows. Are these ones you
Yeah,
have?
yeah.
All right. Let's design them, shall we? Not much you can do with these.
I disagree.
You think?
Yeah.
All right.
Wow, that's
Do
really
we want
smooth.
smooth or pebbled leather? I kind of like the
Real
pebbled.
quick, I remember going into a Puma store in Georgetown in 2005, and they had what they called like the hibachi, and you had to go in and you literally picked out the fabrics that they had, and then they would build your shoe, and it would show up in like 2 months.
Yeah,
I did that. Yeah, it was awesome. But it was
it is
like it
awesome.
was this version, but it was like in person.
That's
You
pretty cool.
and you couldn't like see it. You just had to kind of visualize
In your imagination,
in your imagination. Tongue's a tough one, man.
I think white
Yeah, start with white.
tip accent. I don't love the colors I'm being presented here.
What are you trying to do? Well, click on smooth or pebbled leather. Don't are there different colors for both of them?
Same, no,
A little bit
different.
different.
I like the pebbled though.
Yeah. Okay. Like, what do you
I mean,
want?
these like you have to kind of just actually this. I kind of maybe let's try something funky here.
Tell you what,
Do
let's
it.
yeah, just do the fucking ugliest thing you can do. Let's
Yeah,
start there instead
yeah.
of all white. Just pick shit. Yeah, perfect.
Let's go with
Yellow. There's got to be something's got to be yellow. Make the tongue yellow.
the heel. How about the heel yellow?
There you go.
The swash.
I kind of like the white swoosh,
Yep, liking it. Are we gonna make
but
that? Let's make it
yeah,
reflective.
reflective red.
Reflective red. Yeah. Wait, I didn't realize we could have smooth and pebbled leather back here too. Go smooth on the back because that's hideous looking. And let's make it that color.
Perfect.
Swash,
Little natural.
reflective white. Back tab, also reflective.
Yep. Gray, maybe? You haven't used
Yeah,
gray yet.
gray. The lining. Now this, I like to go something bright for the inside.
Yep.
Orange or red. Go orange.
Yeah. We don't want it to match the swoosh.
Now, that's crazy. Now, I'm a big believer in that no matter what shoe design you have to match the laces to the tongue or it looks stupid.
it's tough to not do that.
Like that looks
Unless
like clown.
the only way maybe is whether they're black or white, and it's the opposite.
Yeah, black or
But
white. Black can be fine, but I think it just
these
looks like
not
you
on
swap
these,
the
yeah.
laces out. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, not on these gems. On the label. Oh, that's kind of cool. Different options.
The black one at the first option looked kind of good.
Yeah, I like that.
There's no more black on this thing.
Well, here, let's see what this one was. This is like the New York Jets.
Green?
What about the
Oh,
green?
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
I'm actually starting to like these a little bit.
I know that, right? This is what you got to do sometimes.
Like so midsole again, I think it's all black looks ridiculous. It's
It
gotta be
does,
white.
dude. And you know what? I gotta. So I ordered all black common projects again because I was
Yeah, oh, you
convinced
did?
I was definitely gonna wear them, and I fucking returned them because they just
Did you
don't
really?
look good. Yeah,
They
dude.
look like
That's the
referee shoes.
second time they do. They look like old man referee shoes.
But they're so
Unfortunately,
cool looking though.
I know the models on the fucking
I was gonna
websites
say a
look
certain
great in
kind of
them.
guy can pull them off. That guy isn't us.
No,
Outsole, I really like gum. Oh, there they do have gum. Beautiful.
there you go. Those actually look kind of cool, man. With I don't think you're that far off here. You got to name something. Genteelmen. Genteel men.
How about that?
Then I gotta get a pair too. It's the official show shoe.
Yellow? Okay, so the only thing I don't like so far is the pink here.
Yeah. So what was that? Can you click on menu or something to like make it? Oh, you just click on it. Okay, I got you. You did it.
But yeah, I can just click on it. To Ronald McDonald. This is a tricky one.
Black's not bad. That doesn't
It's
look as
just
bad as I thought it was going to.
it's so
You don't like
it's
it?
so much of the shoe.
Yeah, you need it to be. You gotta love it.
You know what? Maybe we make this the deep royal navy or the deep royal and we change the color of this. That's interesting.
That looks cool.
You like the all white?
I think they look better on the computer than they would in real
I
life.
don't know. These I don't hate these.
They're not terrible.
I like this light bone color.
Same. That's cool. It's like it's one of those like in between colors. You don't know exactly what it is. Can you
So
make?
then
Is
what
that
if we
what the
put
tab
a
is?
yeah, the light bone is there. But let's make that and then put a little pop of color here on the back tab.
Okay.
I like the back of them so far.
Is the tabs bone as well, right? Or is that gray? Maybe you make
The back
if you're
tab.
gonna match something. Yeah. What's that?
So we can make that bone. Oh, that's the
Or
color.
that's the text. That's the text.
It must. Oh, back tab.
Back.
There we
Oh,
go.
there you go.
So it can't
There.
be
Okay.
bone.
There. Well, it's a reflective. Maybe it's
Oh,
if you.
that's right.
There you go.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
can live without the reflective back tab.
Now this black is bothering me.
That kind of matches the gum sole.
Yeah, it does.
Again, I don't know how much it would in real life.
Yeah, it probably would. Now maybe this needs to be.
You go back to the tongue.
Not the green.
Yeah.
That
That looks cool. Actually, the red with the white laces look cool.
The
I love a
orange or
red
the
shoe
red?
though. I'm more of a
I like the orange.
oh
Let's
yeah,
go with
that's
the
orange.
Yeah.
Orange, yeah. Of course.
Yeah, that matches the inside sock now.
Yeah.
What if we make this bone too? And then go back to the swoosh and see.
Can you make it it's reflective? Click on different. What if you made it orange as well? The problem when you get to this where you're like matching two colors, it's like which college team are you building a
I
shoe
know,
for?
I know. So that's why I think, what if we do this?
That actually looks cool.
What if we make it like orange and gum is sort of the motif, right? So we make that now.
I don't think those look terrible,
I think
but
we've gone
you know,
backwards.
you got to wear. Yeah, we're trying to reel it in where we had our best results, just letting it fly.
Yeah.
Is there not a like a randomize function? There should be.
I think I just did it.
Yeah, there you go. Final product. Yeah, no one's looking at those being like, "Oh yeah, that's the fucking Tennessee Volunteers. Those are Christmas shoes."
Let's they're not
Oh,
terrible,
they
man.
saved them.
They're not terrible.
Click on the inspiration. Let's start. Let's see what they got up there.
I mean, they're just doing like
Those are like regular
that.
shoes.
I kind of like where this is starting.
Yeah. All right. Start there then.
So like let's throw a gum sole on this, right?
Yep.
And maybe gray here. Now let's put a little splash of color in the sock, right? Now,
I took one of my headphones out to hear what was. I thought I heard something in the house,
yeah,
and now it's playing the StreamYard test song,
I like that
but it wasn't
StreamYard
like.
test song.
It's pretty good. Kelsey and Presley.
What do you think of these?
I don't love them as much as the. Well, yeah, those ones kind of went off. They were good, and then they got worse. Those look cool though, man. I mean, it's all about you're gonna have to wear them. So
Yeah,
it's one thing to design something that looks funny, but it's
that's
another
right.
to like pay for it and wear it.
That's right. Let's try a pair of
You
the
could wear,
97s.
yeah. See what they
I
got.
love this shoe, and I have the silver ones, and they're all worn out. You can do a lot of fun things with these.
All right, well
I kind of like
let's do
that.
it. Those ones existed. I feel like those were like the shoe color
These are the
that you
ones I
would
have, but they're
buy.
a little bit different. They're different because they're not silver. It's orange here instead of red, and it's wolf
Not
gray instead of silver.
not for long.
So I really like Nike's sail color, this sail. It looks
Yeah,
really good in person.
it's like an off white.
Yeah, it's like a creamy off-white. So if I go from wolf gray to sail, mudguard, what if we make that sail? It just now it's like a novelty shoe.
Yeah, they get the. I feel like those shoes are just a little too hype for me to be able to wear with anything other than shorts. So
Yeah,
this design's tough for me. But I mean,
yeah, no, I
do
agree.
the same thing. Just get crazy with it. Just start
Yeah, let's be crazy with
picking
it.
shit.
Go there. Look changes in the canvas. I like leather. Let's do that. Let's do that. We love that orange color. Let's do that in the mudguard window. Let's do that. Vivid sulfur. I kind of like that. Not
Yeah,
liking this so
very
far. A mudguard window. Let's be realistic and make it my sail color.
okay. They
Lining
kind of look like
accents.
Florida Gators shoes.
Yeah, they are. You're right. It's like the trap of which college team.
Yep.
I like the vivid sulfur color. Let's go that. Let's see what we end up with. The swash. We want the swash to blend in, or do we want it to be purple? We want it to be purple. Laces, we want to match the tongue. So we'll go sail again. Midsole. Turquoise. Airbag. What do you think here?
Yeah, that's a color that like punches above its weight. Like that having colors in that
I
part of the
agree.
shoe
I agree.
is
Unnecessary.
almost overwhelming.
Outsole, we
No,
have
no gum, huh?
no gum. Black. I think you got to just keep it black.
Yeah.
Like a gray outsole is dumb looking. Personalization. Small swoosh. No. Text.
Double swoosh. Sloan.
All right. What do we
I wonder if they would. I wonder if they'd actually do that. I think they
They
like
wouldn't.
fucking Florida Gator shoes. That's the problem, man. That you can't. Every color combination has been taken
Yeah. Every primary color is spoken
by
for.
some goddamn football team.
What about now? Midnight navy. No football teams using these colors.
Yeah, those are arena league colors.
So, I mean again, they don't look terrible. Like you can't. I love the profile of this shoe, but honestly, I think I would just buy these.
Those look good.
Yeah. Let's see if there's
Every
another
time
one.
I try to come up with a design, I'll fuck around with it. It's like they have one that's better.
Yeah. I don't know. I've made some good ones over the years. But I've made them to look like shoes that weren't available anymore. Or like I made a pair of KDs in the Yeezy colorways. Remember the Nike Air Yeezy 2s? Best sneaker ever.
No.
Oh, come on. Yeah, you do. It's I'll put this in the category of like the Cybertruck. Push design forward was just so much cooler than anything else. I love these.
Yeesh.
So like I made
Yeezys.
a pair of KD shoes with the green bottoms, all black, and a red sock, right? So it was like the same colors.
Got it.
That I think is a cool way to use
I
this.
think you're off the
Yeah.
window, but I want to show you. I don't know if you saw these talking about team color shoes. I like these, but they're kind of Pittsburgh. Let me just share this real quick.
I could fuck around with this customizer all day.
Those are golf shoes.
Which ones?
Can you not see it?
Oh yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, Jordan 1s. They're cool.
Yeah, they are.
I see a lot of guys wearing those on the golf course now.
Really? I
yeah.
never do. I don't see them. I don't think you can walk in these.
They don't seem to give you a lot of like I like wearing golf spikes because they help root me into the ground.
Right. There's not
I don't
much
like
there.
the molded, like a little bit of pebbling at the bottom. It's just there's nowhere near as much traction.
Need more than
And every time I see people wear like I golf with a guy named Jake who wears them all the time, and he's constantly like falling down when he drives.
Come on, Jake.
And I'm like, Jake, dude, the
Stand
shoes
up.
look cool. He's Australian. He's like, nah, man, Jordans. They're Jordans. They're Jordans, though, you know. I can't do a good Australian accent. Oh, so you can customize a Chuck Taylor.
Yeah, share it.
It went away. I clicked on it and it left. What about the Air Max 95s? You remember those?
Yes.
You like them? I like the ones the neon and volt or the gray and volt.
Gray and volt. That was like the basic colors they came in, right?
Josh Schachter had a pair of these, and it was like the coolest thing I had ever seen. What do you think the difference between leather and fade leather is? This is cool. You can customize them with one color.
That's it?
Well, if you do fade leather, yeah. Although those are really cool.
Yeah, they looked a little. They always looked a little boxy.
They're huge. They're big shoes.
Yeah. Again, just a little too hype for my taste.
Are you saying
At this
hype or
at
hype?
this at this point at this point in my life.
Yeah, you want something a little more. That's what I wish I could show you the ones I designed. So I basically did an Air Max 97 that was all sail with like a little bit of navy, just for a simple sneaker.
So
But
do it.
all right, here I'll show you.
Get those ones.
I want you to. That's your existing design.
Yeah, just do that.
So I think it was sail. I know the mud guard was sail, and this I think was gray. Sail. Mud guard overlay was navy. Gray. Nope. Like gray for a little bit of contrast.
Yeah,
This is basically it.
I think those look good.
I don't love them though. Like I'm looking for a way to get like a little bit of. I don't know. I agree with you. I think the shoe. I think it was perfect. The silver ones that I currently have are perfect, and it's impossible to design this shoe to look any better than any better than they those Nike designers. They nailed it.
It's really tough. Yeah, I paid a lot
They
of money
did a
to
good
do
job.
that. I paid all that moolah.
Awful. Is there any other shoe that looks cool?
I like the Blazers, but
That's where I actually
they're pretty
started.
basic.
Yeah, and again, like why you don't need to customize them. Oh, here we go.
Right.
Okay, so I guess it doesn't. You can't do it.
Nice. Thanks. Cool Nike. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Very cool Nike. Thanks.
Thanks, Nike. Maybe we can do the high tops.
You've been watching your boy. You've been watching your boy Donald Trump. Did we talk? We didn't talk after the presidential debate. I'm assuming you watched it. That was like a month ago.
I
They're
watched
eating the cats and dogs
while Allison was in labor.
Oh, that's right. The
Just
like every day.
Did a good job. I thought she did a good job. I thought she did as good as she can do.
Yeah, totally agreed.
When he said that they were eating dogs, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
Springfield are eating the dogs and cats. You don't even know. Kamala sent all these migrants from Haitian from Springfield to eat the dogs and cats. Here's why I know that's definitely not true. And they're like, well, no, it's not dogs and cats, it's geese. Well, that. So you're telling me that there are people, and this is like an ongoing thing, where they steal geese and they eat pets, and everyone's got a fucking cell phone, and no one filmed any of it. That's what you're telling me? That this is the one event that has happened ever since in the last 10 years where everyone has a phone in their pocket,
right?
And no one happened to get any sort of footage of
that and UFO footage.
Right.
Very grainy.
They're filming the fucking wars across the world. Like I can see
zoom into the moon with my iPhone. We can get a UFO. Is there any more savage move than to come to a different country and eat the domesticated pets of your new neighbors? What a way to establish your presence.
That's a way to tell everyone you're here.
Yeah, you see the family outside in the yard looking for the dog, and you're just standing on the front stoop, like,
yeah,
your dog was delicious.
Shouldn't have fed your dog so much. Put him at the top of my hit list. That dog was overweight. Thank you.
Guys, we're hungry. We could go to the grocery store. We could go to McDonald's and use $4 to get a hamburger. Or we could eat the pets of our neighbors. The funniest
Raw,
part to me is
raw.
that she spent, by all accounts, she spent a lot of time preparing for the debate, and he spent 0. He does not do debate prep. He refused. Like,
I
this
know.
that is he's not going out and pitching Trump steaks. He's debating for the presidency of the United States, and he's winging it. Think about that
Yeah,
for a
what's it?
second. And he's pulling it off.
Well,
He is.
to the people who are already going to vote for him. No one's like, wait a
Bro,
second.
you and I could
I
not
don't
get
like his
50% of this
answer. I
country to
didn't
vote
like
for
his
us.
answer. That he's pulling it off for them.
Half of the
So
country.
yeah, I get it.
Pretty
It's a lot
impressive
of.
feat.
It's way too many people, but yeah,
Yeah, it's way
it's
too many
fucking.
people.
He's doing it. I mean, no one's all of a sudden being like, yeah, deport all the migrants, and then they're like, wait a second, his answer on the economic implications of a third world war didn't add up for me.
I'm
No
I'm
one's
I'm gonna
making
go
that
the other
revelation.
direction. Yeah, Allison and I talk about that all the time. Like, who are the undecided voters in this election? What are they waiting to see? What is it? What is it that they're unsure about still? They're like, this Trump guy, yeah, he's a little zany. He's a little off the wall. But
Unconventional,
if
some would
he
say.
says the right things from here on out, yeah, that's my guy. The only thing I can see is people who are waiting to see if they actually feel comfortable voting for someone like Kamala, who doesn't have a ton of experience and didn't go through the primary process. That I understand. That I
Ton
can
of
see.
experience.
No, I'm
She's
just
the
saying,
vice
like,
president.
yeah, but you know, it kind of hit her for 3 years. She
I
didn't
mean,
she
look,
did not seize the day with that role and make the most of her opportunity
I don't know
because
what
she weirds
everyone,
people out.
I don't know how you do that as the vice president. Like, name one vice president who was like, oh yeah, that they really
Dick
made
Cheney.
the most of their 4 years. Yeah, okay. So besides him,
You
who
asked me
started
to
the Iraq War.
name one vice president, and I named the best possible example. Spiro T. Agnew.
Yeah, Jimmy Carter. By the
Bro,
way, dude,
Jimmy Carter. Holy shit.
did you see the footage from his birthday
Yeah,
party?
yeah, yeah.
I,
Like,
I
he's not able to be upright anymore.
I think he's dead. I think he's dead.
If we
I've
put
seen
him
people in nursing
in
homes that
like
look like
this.
him with their mouth open. Yeah, mouth. That is a dead person's pose. You are not alive at that point.
He's
Talk
100 years
about
old.
he's been in
So here's
hospice for like 2
I know.
years.
I know. I can't believe he lived to be 100. I think it's great. I guess it's great. I mean, I think it's great. I don't know. Is it great? He didn't look great. He didn't look like he was out there killing it.
He didn't seem like he was much
Yeah.
enjoying
Yeah.
his party, but other than
But
that, I'm sure it's a hoot.
have you heard or read anything about how, like, it applies to us? They say that the first person who will live to be 150 has already been born. Right? And I think right now our lifespan is projected to be longer than our parents, maybe like 110, 120. But does that mean that, like, we're like that for just 20 more years?
Yeah,
Because the wear and tear on our bodies is accumulating. I've got 43 years of accumulation on this body already. Anything they do will be prolonging the inevitable. Yes, they
yeah,
can physically keep your heart alive and pumping for longer, but why would I want that? Right?
dude.
Or is there going to be a way
Yeah.
to de-age us somehow?
Well, if that's the case, then I will listen intently with the results of that experiment.
Yeah.
But I've said this, and working in nursing homes put me in this mindset, and it's a little morbid, but the answer is you do not want to live as long as possible. Period.
Yeah.
Do not make that your goal. Your goal
Yeah,
should
but
be to live the life while you can,
I
do all
like
the
that.
things you can until your body doesn't allow you to, and then that's kind of it, man. After
But
that,
Do you think we're actually going to feel that way at the time?
Oh yeah.
Or the people in the nursing homes were like, just release me.
Kill me. Yeah, every room. And I was like, we can. You're the revenue for
You're
this
an
place.
asset.
You
Sorry.
need to be alive for us to
And,
get
and
paid. So
tonight's taco night. So, one more
yeah,
day.
they're playing balloon volleyball in the multi-purpose room here in a couple minutes. You're gonna miss that. That's a hit, man. I will say this though, if we get to the fucking age where we're in nursing homes and it's just not full of fucking video games, then I don't want anything to do it. I don't know why they wouldn't have Nintendo Wii's everywhere and just
Because
bowl
the
all
people
day.
who are old right now didn't grow up playing video games, but I
No, I
think
know
eventually they will. Yeah.
that they better.
Dude,
They
imagine
fucking
like
better.
an old age home with like 3 96-year-old guys who are shitting their pants and playing Call of Duty together.
Yeah, that sounds
That would be
great.
awesome. Yeah.
This is basically like a David Buster's. I'm cool with that. They just feed you and wheel you from station to station. I hope that's what it is.
Yeah.
If it's balloon volleyball, fuck that shit. I'm out of there. Breaking
I
out
don't know. Balloon volleyball sounds kind of fun. I used to play balloon volleyball in my basement with Keith Swaney.
with your great grandmother. She taught you the game. Everyone's
It's a good game because you don't have to react. Only
and
every
you
now
just,
and then.
You just sit down. You're sitting down.
Chair yoga.
Chair volleyball. That's what it is.
Chair volleyball. All right, I gotta go. I gotta go get the crew from the airport.
All right, man. Give my love to
a
Sloan. By the way, it's I assume you named her after longtime's Utah Jazz head coach Jerry Sloan.
Yeah. Same spelling.
Yeah. Got it. That's what I figured. I didn't want to.
Dude, remember
assume,
when everyone from Utah looked like everyone was white except for Karl Malone?
On the basketball team, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like even the coach looked like Jeff, and like they all had like their hair parted, like Stockton and Hornacek.
They really
Jerry
reflected
Sloan.
the community, the Utah Jazz. And they fucking hated Dennis Rodman. There's that he was public enemy number one.
Yeah, man, he represented everything that they like didn't want to acknowledge about the world. Progress.
All right, man, go get those motherfuckers from an airport.
Let's
tell
do
Allison
this again. You want to just do it next Wednesday, or are you gonna need some time to settle in with the new?
Let me figure out if I'm not. I'll know whether I'm going into on Wednesday first week. I don't know if I'm going to be working from home or not. But if I am working from home, let's do it on Wednesday morning.
Okay,
if that's okay.
That is
but
more than
you tell
okay.
me. We'll figure it out.
All right,
man. Later,
buddy.